Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2009 Volvo C30 T5 R Design. Up front is a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 5, and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this C30 T5 R Design because I think these are fun little nugget automobiles. I feel like here in 2026, not many people really talk about the C30, and I think this is a pretty complete performance package for an affordable price. It's weird, it's different, and I think it's kind of exciting. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Last but not least, huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me borrow their C30 for today's video. More on them towards the end, but if you'd like to browse their inventory, you can do so down in the description below. But let's get back to that inline 5. Not a lot of cars throughout history have had inline 5s. Now, Volvo isn't the only company to ever use one, but they are the most famous, at least in the recent era. This makes 227 horsepower, which is fair. It's a good amount of horsepower. It's a sporty amount of horsepower, but it's not gonna knock your socks completely off. It's very, very fun. It's very manageable. It is a 4-valve engine, meaning a 20-valve engine, and it does give the C30 a interesting sound. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed automatic. This is kind of the lamer version. Could find these in manual. I wish it were a manual. I think that would be a lot more fun. You could kind of row it out a little bit more. However, I'm not too pressed here. The 5-speed is doing a fine enough job, and I don't have really any complaints. Last but not least about the drivetrain, this C30 is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the C30? Well, like I said, I love that inline 5. Really, really love the sound of it, the feeling of it, and the power from it. I think that is really what sells me on this car. The rest of the driving experience is fine enough. The ride quality is a little bit harsh. The 5-speed automatic, whatever. Visibility's okay. It's actually pretty good out the back because that hatch comes down so low. So everything besides the engine is somewhat lackluster, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but it's not a crazy industry-defining feeling, although I do like that 5-sill. Here we go. Laying into it, the 5-speed's a little lazy. But the sound that you get sounds exotic. It sounds really, truly exotic. It's not quite V10, but it's kind of V10-y. It's very, very good sounding. And when you drive it, you know, it puts a smile on your face, it puts you back in your seat, and it's just such a joy. Mash it. I love that, and I think people overlook that. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges and some little readouts. Off to the left is the speedometer and fuel. Off to the right is the tachometer and coolant temperature. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our cruise control settings, and off to the right, we have our phone settings, as well as skip track and volume. And off to the left, we have our climate control vent, headlight switch, front and rear fog light switches, as well as our gas cap release. Moving out of the door, we have lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we get the Dyna Audio Authentic Fidelity speaker. I don't know if I've seen more BS jargon on one speaker cover, but hey, whatever sells them, right? We have 2 climate control vents with the hazard switch. We get a CD player and our infotainment readout, as well as this very tall center console. So I'm used to this in Volvo products of the era. We have a number pad, which is kind of funny. Phone and menu buttons. We have our climate controls. It's all worked in here. Looks more like a modern art piece than an actual climate control stack, but that's what Volvo was going for. They wanted a personality, and they designed the climate controls to reflect that. Then we do have the shifter in the center. You can plus minus if you want. I don't want to, but you can. 12-volt outlet. and cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the C30 T5 R design, and it fails, but by truly millimeters it fails. If you got a Dremel out, you could make the big friggin' bottle fit, but that's not the name of the game. So sadly, the C30 T5 R design fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do get a tiny center console in the seats. The seats are power and memory. Very, very nice to see that. And they're comfortable enough. They haven't held up super amazing in the last, 17-ish years. However, they're holding me within the car. They're not super sporty. For the R design, I wish that they got a little bit higher bolsters or maybe a material that's less slippery. This leather doesn't really hold me in super, super well in the corners. So maybe upgrade that at some point or something. I wish they got a little bit more buckety-oriented seats, but that's okay. I wasn't the one that designed it. However, speaking of seats, unfortunately for me, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back, pull this up. Don't know if there's an easy way to scoot this seat forward. There we go. And getting into the back of the C30. All right, we're back here. It is not very comfortable. As you can see with the driving position, not a whole lot of space to be left for backseat occupants. Now, this is a two-door hatchback, so it's a coupe. I'm not expecting this to be like, a limousine-style experience. The fact that I'm even back here at all is somewhat of a win. There we go. For some reason, the seat does not want to come back into its normal position. So right now, I actually have great leg room, but this is not realistic with the seat that far up towards the dash. I do get some cubby space over here and over here. We get speakers and things like that. It's not an awful experience. You get a 12-volt outlet down there. Not sure why that was really necessary given the fact that there's one right up front, but there you go. This is the back seat of a C30 T5R design. Kind of a cumbersome name, but it's also a cumbersome back seat, so I guess it fits. Let's hop into the back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, coming around the back of the Volvo C30, and something this car has been known for is its rear hatch, because this is all one piece of glass. I'll show you what I mean. Little button down here to pull it up, but this is all a piece of glass. Now, it's very, very cool, and I like the look of it. It actually helps out with rear visibility quite a bit, but I would imagine as time goes on, it is going to be harder and harder to get a replacement piece. Once we are back here, pretty adequate trunk space. Again, it is a compact hatchback. We can come under here. We do have a spare tire and some different things found down there. But again, that's the whole thing about the C30. You do get a little hatch. I like that a lot, but this is kind of the talking point, how unique and interesting this glass piece is. You don't often see this on hatchbacks. You saw this on like coupes of the 80s. My Mazda RX-7 had a big glass hatch, but in the modern era, not nearly as much. So very, very cool. My heart skipped a beat, hoping that I didn't shatter it, and I didn't. So good day here today. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I do like the look of the Volvo C30. I think it looks good enough. I think it definitely looks different as well, which is always very nice to see, is that this doesn't look like everything else on the road. You see one of these and you go, oh, look at that little hatch thing. I like it. I love the fact that it's a coupe hatchback as well, because I can't really name you any other ones from the modern era. The Saturn Astra, but we're not going to get into that today. So I like it. I like how unique and different it is. So let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the C30 T5R design? Well, that's just it. I like how unique and different this vehicle is. Downsides are the fact that there are some Ford cost-cutting going on in here. The interior does not feel very premium, no matter what the Dyna Audio authentic fidelity is trying to tell you. It is not authentic. It is not fidelity. It's barely even Dyna Audio. This interior just feels very plasticky, very post-recession 2000s, which makes obvious perfect sense because this is a 2009. That's really the only downsides. I love the engine, and this car just has personality. That's the best thing. It's different and it's unique. And in a world of just blobby silver and gray cars, this stands out in the crowd, not only because of its red color, but because of what's under the hood, because of that badge, because of all of these things together. And I've said in the past, you know, in this era, Volvo was kind of in their angsty sort of phase. The headlights look like they have black eyeliner on. They're these sort of bad boys. The R design was like, ooh, not your grandpa's Volvo anymore. And some people find that annoying. Some people find that weird. Some people don't like this era of Volvo. But what I have to say to that is that I would rather have a car have a bad or annoying personality than no personality at all. It's the same for people. I would much rather meet someone and say, wow, that person is a jerk. They're spicy. They're mean. They're bad. They're not good. They're quirky. They do this. They do that. I don't like this. I don't like that, because they're triggering something inside of me, some type of emotion. I'm feeling some type of way about that person. On the flip side, of course, when I meet people and I go, oh my gosh, they're so great. They're so interesting. They do this. I like meeting people that, you know, only enter a door from the left side, or, you know, they have some type of edge to them, some type of bite, something that makes them unique and interesting and personal. The people in the cars that I meet and I drive that just have no personality at all, they're forgotten. They're uninteresting. And quite frankly, I don't have the time of day for those people nor cars. Have something. Bring something to the table. Maybe it's the fact that you hate peas, and so anytime someone serves pea, you throw a temper tantrum. That's probably pretty annoying to be around, but it's something. That's you. I could tell people, hey, you know, Timmy hates peas. That's a big thing about him. You gotta know that. You gotta know. Never bring up peas around him. He'll go nuclear. That's how I feel about this car. It's a little angsty. It doesn't quite like its interior. It doesn't feel good on the inside. It's a little squeaky. It's a little rattly. The transmission fights with the engine, but that engine strong arms the transmission every single time and makes it obsolete. It has something unique about it. It has something special about it. And it has something that you can bring up at a dinner party several weeks later. Weeks down the road, you know, there's a big automotive journalist gathering here in a couple of months. And if we're sitting at dinner and someone says, what's a weird engine you drove recently? I'm gonna say the 2.5 inline 5 turbo, a 5-cylinder. I'm gonna raise the question at the dinner table, who has driven a 5-cylinder recently? And this car is now memorable. This car now sticks out in my mind, and that's a good thing. Love something or hate something, if it sticks with you, it has some type of power, and that's this car. It has power. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me borrow their C30 T5 R design for today's video. They are absolutely wonderful. They are Carfax certified. They offer shipping to the 48 states, as well as they also offer detailing. So they are your one-stop shop here in the Chicago suburbs for used vehicles. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.